Hi, John Morgan here with Bob's Market and Greenhouses, and welcome to this week's episode of Bob's Live, our weekly show right here on the internet. And well, to get things started off this week, we need to do a drawing, because each month this year, to celebrate 50 years of Bob's Market, we're doing a drawing on our website. So you can head over to our website at bobsmarket.com, and up at the top of the page there's a little gold banner, and you can click on that and register to potentially win a prize. So what we're doing is each month that form resets. So if you entered for February's prize, you need to go back and register again for March. That way it makes it fair, so it keeps the odds, somewhat the same throughout the year. So this week, or this month, we're going to be giving away the classic Bob's Market travel mug. But I was also digging around today, back in the back. I found these cool little pins. So it's a little Bob's Market pin, but when you press it, it actually lights up. So I thought it was a weird little thing, and I'll stick it in the box with the travel mug. So this month we had around 180 entries for the travel mug, and I took all of them and cut them up, and they're right there. So let me reach in. I was trying to save paper today, and I made the slips a little bit too small. Hopefully I have just one. Let's see. Yes, I do. Alright, so our winner is... alright. Appropriate for Bob's Market. Our winner is Dixie Gardner. So, a Gardner won. Alright, so Dixie, I'll get your mug sent out to you as soon as possible. And I'm going to set this aside so I know where it's at. And, yeah. So each month, make sure you sign up on our website for a drawing. And also throughout the year, we're going to be doing other activities once we get more into springtime. So right now, well, today it's actually pretty nice out, but, this time of year, it's kind of cold, dreary. But once we get more into springtime, look for things like workshops in our stores, and also the Keep Growing podcast. It's going to be coming back, and other things like that as we move more into springtime. So this week, what I want to take a look at is something that right now is the perfect time to be doing, and that is pruning trees. So last year on, I don't know if I did it on an episode of Bob's Live, but on our YouTube channel, I posted a video of planting an apple tree. And well, a year later, it needed a little bit of pruning. So this past weekend, I went out and pruned it. And I've got a nice step-by-step guide here on pruning an apple tree. And this is a little bit different because it's a fairly new tree. Most people, whenever you look at pruning guides, it's for older trees. So pruning a sapling, it can be a little bit of a daunting process, because if you make the wrong cut, you're stuck with it for the life of the tree. So let's take a look at that. While we're doing that, if you have any questions, be sure to put them in the comments, and then we'll take a look at those after we get done. Hi, John Morgan here with Bob's Market and Greenhouses. And in this video, we're going to be pruning this apple tree that we actually planted last year. So you can go back and look at older videos and see this tree being planted. it's a year older now, and it does need some pruning. There's a few issues that need to be addressed with it, so let me grab the camera and we'll take a closer look. It can be kind of scary to prune a really young tree like this, but there are some really obvious problems. So here I have a branch that's coming out and growing and rubbing up against another branch. So obviously this smaller branch needs to come out. Likewise, we have this one right here that's pretty much growing straight up through the middle, but it's also growing back toward the center of the tree. So any branches that grow back toward the center of the tree, you want to remove. And then also over here, I have two branches, one further down and one further up, that are both growing in the same plane. So these two eventually will interfere with each other out here. So my general rule of thumb is to take out the weaker of the two. So this smaller one, that most likely branched off last year, it's going to come out. And then I don't have any down here at the bottom, but sometimes you'll get suckers coming up off of where the tree was originally grafted. And if you get suckers coming out from below the graft, those need to come off also, because, you know, we're growing this tree for the fruiting portion, not the graft stalk down below. So that's the major things. The other thing is the top of the tree. So the central leader on this tree, I mean, it is super tall, but up there at the top it splits. So we need to address that split. If we let that go, later on it's going to split out and you'll end up with a big Y right in the center of your tree. And you really don't want that. So that tip way up there, need to address that. And the main thing is just going to be cutting it down so it's a little bit shorter and addressing that leader. But other than that, that is really the main things that need to be addressed with this tree. And right now it's a snowy, cold morning. This is at the end of February, so late February, early March here in our area is the best time to prune. Alright, so I'm going to make the first cuts here up close so you can see how to properly do a cut like this. It translates really to any size branch. So even if you're cutting off a larger branch with a saw, you still want to cut it really in the same spot. And today all that I need is just some hand pruners. So you don't want to go right up against the trunk with your cut. You want to come out a little bit. And make a nice clean cut. Okay, so the next thing that I want to remove after removing those lower branches are any branches that cross over other branches. So like this one, it's growing right out from the center and rubbing up against this other branch right here. So it needs to come off. And then we have this branch that's growing back toward the middle of the tree. It needs to go. Then we have this one right here. It is growing sort of up this way, but it eventually is going to grow into this branch. And then I have this smaller branch here that's right in the same plane with this one. And this one right here, it's a little tiny one, but it is in the exact same plane as this larger branch. I think I'm going to leave it though, because it has enough separation that I think it'll be okay. And then likewise, I've got two smaller branches over on this side that are growing out this way. They're pretty close together, so I'm going to take one, and I'm going to leave one. And that's kind of where your choices come in. I have this one right here that's kind of in the same plane, so I'm going to take this one. I've got a little tiny branch here that's eventually going to grow out and hit this branch. That little baby's going to come off. I have this one. It's growing back into the center of the tree. And let's see, these two are eventually going to grow into each other. What I might do is leave these and just see how they continue to grow. Here we've got another set. This is kind of behind the tree, so you really can't see it too well, but got another little one right there that's growing into the same plane as this one. Let's see. These two are kind of growing into the same plane with each other. Tempted to take off the smaller branch right here. Alrighty. And now the main thing that I need to address is the top of the tree. So let me go ahead and do that. And where this is a smaller sapling, if I am careful, I can pull it down. Give it a little nip, and it is good to go. Alright, I've addressed all the major issues with this apple tree. Things like limbs that were growing back in toward the middle, and competing limbs that were in the same plane, and all of those types of issues. So keep an eye out on our blog. On Friday, I'm going to be doing a blog post on how to prune young apple tree saplings. So on Friday, you can head over to bobsmarket.com and find more information on that.
Hello, my name is Snippy. Snip, 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 snip. Bye now.
Alright, so that's all there is to pruning a tree. And like I said, it can be kind of daunting to prune a young tree because if you mess up, you're stuck with it for the life of the tree. But really, it's something that needs to be done early on to get that initial shape and get it growing correctly. So there was a few limbs there that were obvious that if I left them growing the way they would have been major problems, like the two limbs that were rubbing up against each other. That needed to be eliminated. And then also any limbs that are growing back up toward the center of the tree. Another thing to look out for, and I didn't mention it in the video because there weren't any limbs on the tree that were doing that, but any limbs that grow kind of straight down, you want to eliminate those also. So yeah, that's the basics of pruning an apple tree. And yeah, Donna's saying snow on the ground. So yeah, Friday night into Saturday morning we had snow. So I got up early. That was about 8:30, 9 Saturday morning when I recorded that. But yeah, that's the basics of pruning a young apple tree. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about tree pruning in this week's blog post. So on Friday, if you head over to bobsmarket.com, you should be getting the blog post up somewhere around noon on Friday is what I shoot for. But you'll see it there, or you can also subscribe to our emails. So anytime we post a recipe, a blog post, or an almanac post, you can register and then pick what you want to get and get that right in your inbox. And well, that's all that I had this week. So until next time, keep growing. You're still watching? I'm done. Well, since you're still here, head over to bobsmarket.com and check out our website. We've got some really cool stuff over there, like the Keep Growing podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, smash that notification bell, and all that stuff. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.